Okay. Finally have some time to get back to this one. This is a modded SC, I believe it's SCED 037. There's no model number, is there? I'm pretty sure it's the SCED 037. I'll correct myself, but it's the one I modified basically with the module here. Changed it from the black with the silver pushers and screws, and switched it around with the silver one from a different model, just so I wanted to look more uniform like this, right? And that was cool. Simple mod, paid double, but I did sell the other one that's basically the reverse mod of this, and simple as that. And I didn't lose too much money on it. It's the cost of the modding. But I want to take this further. It's just that some reason they choose to make the handset, at least, not contrasty enough. You got a pretty, about 2/3 of the dial is like white. It's actually brushed silver, but it mostly appears white. And you got white hands and this chronograph, which only mostly show up going across this side. But once it crosses here, you have to rely on this very thin black line to discern that. And forget about the chronograph. Once it goes here, it's like, well, you got to angle it to see the shadow or just some sort of contrast to make it out as it's working its way around this way. And I want to improve that. So I'm thinking I will do a few things, actually, at least a couple of things. Couple things. One is I'm going to paint the second hand blue. I want to do it in a bright blue. And the hands are actually going to be an orange. Bright orange, so it's going to be a nice contrast and sporty look. And I think that'll help out a lot. The only trick is getting that thin line back, how to cover that and retain it. Additionally, the trick or problem or whatever you call it is compounded by the fact that I actually want to add lume to this watch. I always believe if there's a way to make a watch with lume, it should have it. I like to be able to see my watches in the dark. That's just me, whenever I can. There are some exceptions, but I don't know why people, motorsports chronographs, they don't think that people race through the night. There's surely late night racing and even just simply, if it's not racing, driving. And why wouldn't you want to be able to see or make out the time in the dark, right? It just makes sense to me, and it doesn't make sense that you wouldn't want to. That's not important for some odd reason. So I thought about this, and I wanted to originally, you see at the ends here, right, at each one of these main 5-minute markings, at least with this, I wanted to do a square lume, right, and then do something similar on those ends. I think that would have looked good if I could do that. But playing around with the lume and the tools that I have, it's not going to work. It's just very hard to apply lume paint. It's already difficult to work with, and to apply it to make it an even square shape, quite impossible. I tried masking it off, the shape, and then painting it, and then seeing if I could peel it off. I did it on a test. Actually, I did it on this, like over here, right there. You can see right by my thumb. That was one attempt. And I think these other ones actually might have been two. At least some of them were. It just didn't work out. It's just I could get the shape maybe, but then as soon as I try to pull the tape, it'll pull the lume paint off with it, or it'll smear it, or during the process it just gets under it or something somehow, so it doesn't maintain a clean edge. Either way, it's very difficult to do as a clean, even square shape. So that wasn't going to work. So I tried applying it just with the oiler pen, which is like basically almost like a needle point, but with a fat end. If I can find that tool somewhere. It's somewhere in my toolbox there. But yeah, if I could do that, I could just dot it onto the end, so I'll make a small round one on the ends. And I think if I do it really evenly with the right consistency, that's doable, and I think it'll work. So that's one thing. Now to make it more discernible, at least make it more legible, I'm thinking the 12 should stand out a little bit more. And I'm thinking, I mean, I could elongate it, but there's a chance that it may not be even if I try to push the Lume paint around like that. It could get really squiggly or start to go to one side or one end or whatever. It's thicker. A lot of things could go wrong. So I was thinking maybe I would dot the top like at the ends like all these, but then I'll add an extra one right below it. So this one will have like a double dot, and that should be enough to be able to read it in the dark and see, oh, that's a 12. So that's the plan for that. I was going to use the blue Lume paint that I have, so I think that'll look pretty good for that to shine up in blue. And what I'm going to try that's a little bit different is I'm going to try to do an orange Lume. Yes, orange. Generally, those don't last that long or particularly bright. So I'm going to try to mix it in. Additionally, it doesn't even really truly look orange once you like let off on the light of the source. You just look at it in the dark. It actually tends to be more, at best, pale orange, but more like almost yellow. So I don't need it to glow orange, although that would be cool against the blue dots, Lume around the outside. But I would like it to be at least longer lasting and brighter. And so I'm thinking of mixing it with the standard green Lume paint. It doesn't look really green in the natural light. It's kind of an off, cream color or whatever. So I think, and I've tried this already, and if I mix it, just to show you, this right here, and I believe the one at the end here is mixed with some green Lume paint with the orange. And the straight up orange ones are basically these two here. This one I made a little bit thinner just to see what would happen if I thinned it out. And this one was maybe a little bit thicker for application. But as you can see, it's orange enough, and I think that'll stand out fine against this guy here. And you can't show it to you. It's not dark enough in this room. But yeah, but in terms of the natural color, it's still fairly orange. And then when you look at night, it actually looks more, it will actually have a more yellow or yellow-greenish kind of Lume to it, which should be, it does seem noticeably stronger than it's just a straight orange Lume paint. Yeah. But I figure some Lume is better than no Lume, and I figure if I'm going to do it, I might as well try to do that. It's going to be tricky because again, Lume paint is hard to work with. You want to apply it nice and even and enough of it, but then you don't want it to be too thick. And you can see these hands are very, very thin. So I can see how much space is in between them. Not much, but if I apply the right amount, it should be okay to get away with a decent layer of Lume paint over that. The other trick is going to be adding that black line back in. There's not enough control for me to just do it neatly along one side of that black line over the white area, and again on this side, without it looking probably uneven, how I apply this on this side and this side, where there's maybe, if I can maintain that real skinny gap there, it could be like, you're looking down along that line, it could be like this a bit, and that would look crappy. So the only thing I think I can do is just cover the whole thing as evenly as possible, and then just carefully redraw that line in. Yeah, that thin ass line, or very finely mask and lightly brush a black back in over there and peel it off, and hopefully that will do the job. That's going to be the trickiest part of all this thing. Me painting this blue hand is not going to be too much of an issue, and doing those dots I'm sure is doable. Just take my time, make sure I got an even application, dot, well in the center. Yeah, so this will be very tricky. And then, of course, gosh, just looking at how close that minute hand is to that second hand too. This is actually one thing. If you look closely, it's just the sides of that are painted black. Yeah, that's something I gotta be careful too. That I don't, when I paint the blue across, I make sure it looks even across, like it's one needle. It doesn't look like it's I covered the black. So that's gonna be tricky too. I guess I should try to mask it off before I just brush over it, so at least I have some sort of barrier control over that, or so I think. And I hope I can pluck these hands off carefully without damaging them, because again, they're very thin, and I've never really messed with quartz movement hands before. I can't imagine it'd be really that different than the automatic mechanical ones. Gotta get that 2 in there. I'll see how things go. Let's have a closer look at this. I don't know if I can just, is that piece all, is that actually part of, you see like right below that, the hour hand, that, is there, does that hand actually extend down to that, or is that just something else? I'll have to see. I might try to quickly but carefully take off maybe the seconds hand only. Do you think I can carefully paint right above this without removing it? I don't know. Like, you got the other hands down there too. I don't know. Ideally, shoot. I mean, if I ended it at where it's round, where it's kind of hidden anyways, but that black part of this chronograph seconds hand, be okay. But I really should get under there and paint the whole thing orange. You know, the same color all the way through, and not just end it right before the end there. I don't think it's going to look right. Well, we'll see. Hopefully this isn't a failure and I just messed up a mod watch. If so, this may never see the light of day. If it does go according to plan or close enough, then you will see this video. So, first things first, I gotta pop this out. I hate snapback cases, I really do. It never seems to enough room for you to get under there and pry this thing off. But it looks like right there is that little opening where I gotta wedge a tool in there and pop it off, and hopefully without scratching. I should probably mask this off first, at least on this side. And carefully do that. And then the other trick is removing, I've never removed the stem from a quartz movement before. Hopefully it's not much different than mechanical automatic. If it's like the other Seiko movements, like the NH35, 6, 7S, those types, there's a little pin that you push and then you pull it out to release it. We shall see. Okay. I don't know. Should I document this? I guess so. So where the heck was that opening? Right there on that side. So I am going to do my best to mask around here. I mean, it's on the underside anyway, so honestly, who cares? But it's just good professional practice to cover your ass. I don't know if this makes a difference either, but I am going to try. See that gap? Okay. I guess cover up this portion of the case back, just in case it slips. At least maybe it won't go everywhere. And I do have these Seiko case back tools, which I assume are legit, but I don't know which one will go under here best. Still feels a little sharp and coarse. There's just different sizes and shapes. I honestly don't know what will work better. And how do you do it? I guess you do it like this and try it. Or does it go? Is it supposed to go with this edge tip under here first, and then pull it up? Oh, yeah. That's why I hate dealing with casebacks. Oops. Well, we'll see if any Cape Cod will fix this. God damn it. So much for that. I don't know. I've never been good at... I hate removing bezels as well. It's so scary. Let's try this one. It's supposedly more rounded. I've never found a good method to do this. Oh, fuck, man. Jesus Christ. It's so easy to just fuck up here. There was a tool that I saw online. Am I even digging into the right spot? It's from Seiko. It's supposed to be like really easy. It's like this contraption you put, and there's like a knife there, and you just screw it down, and it just wedges this thing in between, and it just pops it the heck off. It's about $100 or so. Jeez. Just get all this tape in here. I don't know. Is it coming off? What the heck? Man. Am I just doing this wrong? I really... God dang it. See, it's like it's jacking up the tools too. I'm gonna have to file this down at some point. You figure Seiko tools, they would be good for this kind of shit. But not necessarily. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna have to pause this, get this camera out of my face.